what's the longest you've done with your plank?
The longest straight arm plank that I've done is a 4-hour straight arm plank. 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
So what's the average of people, 30 seconds?
I've always had this thing of I don't want to be on my deathbed looking back and seeing what could have been. I don't want to have these regrets of like, oh, I wish I would have done Mount Kilimanjaro, or I would have done triathlon, or. And I say that because I think you're a hiker. I'm getting a sense you're a hiker.
I climbed Kilimanjaro.
Oh, you did?
I have a tattoo on my heart of Kilimanjaro.
Really? That's awesome. David Goggins, man. Hey, if you ever listen to this, shout out to you, David Goggins. You definitely changed the trajectory of my life.
I saw him once running from my office. Oh my God, I cannot doubt Goggins. And I got in my car and I started chasing him in the car, bro. But I rolled down my window and I was like, hey, Mr. Goggins. And he had stopped, finished running, so I'll say that. And he's with his shirt off and everything. I was like, can I take a picture with you? And he's just like paused. He was like, well, get out of your damn car, man. Let's go. He just like yelled at me.
CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion. CEO InMotion.
One more episode of CEO InMotion podcast. Here we go with my man Rich Hernandez. Look him up on the IG on YouTube at Do Hard Things 365. Man, I think I'm out of energy because I hung out with you earlier today. I think you're one of the few podcast people that I meet before than actually getting into the car. And here we go, and you got to see your logo in the car.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, and by the way, we got after it. Shout out to you. Not a lot of people could do that many push-ups.
Yeah, I'll tell on myself, I didn't keep up with your pace or your amount of push-ups, which is to be expected. But I think that's the most push-ups I've done in one continuous setting. So thanks for pushing me already to do my best today.
That's amazing. You know, it's crazy. I host these events where people plank with me or people are doing push-ups with me, and almost every single time people hit their PRs. It's something crazy, and it's like
personal record.
Yeah, personal record. It's like, why do you need me to provide a platform? But I provide that platform so that people go like, oh wait, I can actually hold a 30-second plank. Like I go to these public places, and then you get these like old ladies that like pass by, and they're like kind of wanting to join us. Start talking to them in Spanish. I'm like, no, señora, véngase, come join me. She's like, oh, I can't. I'm like, no, yeah, you can. And they end up doing like 30 seconds, a minute. And I love that. So today was like perfect example. Like you jumped in the arena and you destroyed it.
I was finishing up a workout, and then you're like, hey, I'm gonna do this push-up challenge. How about we just get out, during the podcast, I was like, we can't do that. We're like driving on the strip, like, in the middle of the night on a Saturday night. I said, but I'm doing a workout. Why don't you come over to that place and we can do it after? I thought it was cool. So I want to start talking about some of your own personal records to kind of set the pace of some of the things that you've done. What's the longest you've done with your plank?
The longest straight arm plank that I've done is a 4-hour straight arm plank. 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
So what's the average of people? 30 seconds?
I don't know what the average is, but usually when people plank with me, yeah, a minute is good. 2 minutes is really exceptional. But here's the crazy thing is I wasn't that person just a year ago.
Yeah.
The max that I held, I said, you know what, I'm a strong guy. Let me go and see what I can do. Let me go do 7 minutes. I did 7 minutes, but by the 7 minutes, I was shaking, I was sweating, everything was hurting. And this is October 2023, 7-minute plank. Fast forward to now, 4 hours, very doable, very doable.
October 2023, so you've been doing this for 15 years. So I want to go some quick rounds and then we'll get into like the whole story because this is really cool. Okay, 4-hour plank. What about push-ups?
Push-ups, I can do 3,000 nonstop push-ups. 3,000.
You know what's crazy? I knew it was 2,000 something, but I was like, I bet if I say the number, he's probably already crushed it.
Oh yeah.
And then you go like, because as I was looking into some of the stuff that you've done, you've already, upped. Okay, so you're now gone to the 3,000.
Yeah.
Pull-ups.
Pull-ups, I can do in a session, I can do more than 1,000 in a session.
Oh my God. So, and you live stream all these stuff, right?
I do live streams. I started live streaming. I know this is a quick round, but I did live streams because people wouldn't believe my time-lapse videos.
That was exactly what I was going to say. People are going to right now call BS, guys.
Yeah.
This guy has everything on live stream. So you join the live stream and you can see this and you can participate at home and you can do these cool things. So before we get into how you and I met, I thought it was really cool that you mentioned your age earlier today.
Yep.
And then what are you gonna do about that? Like, what's your birthday gift to do?
Yeah. You know, I used to shy away from my age, but I'm like, no, this is actually a good thing. I need to put it out there. So every birthday, I have a challenge for myself where I run my age. So when I turned 42, I ran 42 miles. I turned 43 like 2 weeks ago, and I ran 43 miles.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's almost 2 marathons.
That's 2 marathons.
Bro, you're like right there almost in a day. Right? We're talking about in one day.
In a day, yeah, in one go. You just go run around the city. I ran.
Oh shit.
Oof. That's dangerous.
Yeah, what? Something just fell from that car. Well, these are the kinds of things that happen in the InMotion podcast. So I should tell you, we're gonna be driving down this strip right now on a Saturday night. So
Yeah.
expect craziness like what just happened right now.
Yeah.
Like there was no way for me to kind of prevent that. We went over something. Some car just dropped something, and I just completely went.
Do you
over
have a
it.
camera facing that way?
No, so I thought about like putting a camera on the outside
Yeah.
for like 360 degrees. Honestly, the only reason why I haven't done it is because I'm nervous that it'll fly off. Because sometimes I like to punch it in the Tesla and like surprise people.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if that thing just like falls off? And you know, people are crazy in Vegas. They can throw something at you, you know, in the car. I've done crazy things happen here, bro. Anyway, so like that's
Well, that's what keeps it fun, though, right?
yeah, Vegas keeps fun. So as long as this is going, so we got 3 cameras. I forgot to say the admin stuff. This one's always recording for both of us. You know, our editor Gabby. Say hello, Gabby. Thanks, Gabby, for everything you do. This one's for me. This is for us, and that's for you. And all right, so we got the PRs out of the way. If there's another thing else that I'm missing, I did the pull-ups. I did the plank. I did the miles for your birthday.
Yeah, I've had a lot of milestones,
push-ups.
man. A lot of milestones, but I've done a lot of mountains. I did Mount Whitney, for example. Not only did I do Mount Whitney, I did a plank at the top of Mount Whitney.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so
for
after
how
this-
long? I've done mine Whitney.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I love like little hikes, but mine was like overnight. Like I actually camped out and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you went the whole way.
You did at the trail camp?
Like at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. No, I did it one day.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, we just woke up at 2 o'clock, started climbing at 2 o'clock. Once I got up there, I'm like, let me just hold a plank. So I told my buddy, hey, just keep on going. I'll catch up with you. So I held a 1-hour plank at the tallest peak of
the 48
states.
Yeah, the contiguous states.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
You did the whole mountain in one
go.
One day. Usually what people do, like, first of all, this mountain is very popular and there's a lot of people and you need a permit, and I'm gonna say 99% of people spend the night and then we get up at midnight and then you go climb. But you went the whole way out.
Just went the whole way.
And then you added just for funs and giggles an
Just for
additional
funsies. It's what we do.
1 hour
we push
plank.
the boundary.
That's very, very cool.
I've done things like I've run the Grand Canyon where you go, it's called rim to rim to rim. You start on the south side of the rim, you go all the way down, all the way across, all the way to the top of the north rim, and then you just come back through a different trail. So it's a total of 53 miles, and it's about 13,000 of vertical gain, 10 to 13,000.
Okay, so you're hardcore. So I want to get into that. So I want to kind of like divide this up into like the fitness part, but I think there's also a mental component, and we just touched on it at the very beginning, where people are like, I'm not sure I can do it, and you're like, yes, you can. You don't even need me. You just need the platform to do it. So we'll get into the mental component, but I'm also very curious on when you started, because you just said like 2023. So by the way you look and, you know, by stuff that you're saying, I was like, oh, he's been doing this for 10, 20 years. This is all his life. But it doesn't seem like that was the thing until recently.
So I've been a guy that's always been kind of physical. I've always been in sports. I played team sports. I was in high school sports, but I haven't been this committed. I started to do hard things September 19, 2023. And that's when I said...
That's nothing.
It's
That's like
nothing.
15 months ago.
It's nothing. It's 500 days. It was 501 days of me posting daily stories of all the workouts that I do. And on average, I'm working out 5 or 6 hours a day. No rest days. Ever. 0 rest days. 0 rest days. And on average, my averages come down a little bit just because I'm doing more of the social media stuff. That takes a little time.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that. I know you got some questions.
and social media is not my full-time job, so right now I'm spending my extra time on that, and it takes a little bit away from getting after it. But I used to work out 5, 6, 7 hours on average. So some days I'm doing a 10-hour day. Some days
Working out.
yeah, working out.
Like working out is your job, like your lifestyle, your fitness. Like,
It feels like a job.
I mean, 8 hours. Most people don't even work 8 hours a day.
But here's the thing. When I was a chief of staff, for example, working a very busy job, 60 hours, 70-hour weeks consistently for hours, for years at a time, like even then I was making time for the fitness. I was getting after it in the mornings and in the nighttime. I just made it work. I've always kind of prioritized it, but I haven't gone this hard for this long in a long time. But I'm really trying to send the message about like, hey, we're all capable of so much. Like, you don't even have to invest that much time at the end of the day. Like, look at me.
What?
15 months, and now I'm doing
Oh, you're talking about how much time in length of
Yeah.
months, but you're doing a lot of hours.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of hours, but you look at the time, it's not much, and I'm doing
It really is impressive.
elite stuff right now. You go online, you ask ChatGPT, I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, who else is doing 3,000 nonstop push-ups? And it says there's like 8 people that are doing it in the world.
8 people
In the world.
out of 8 billion. I mean, that's a flex right there. You know, you can say I'm one. You know, wow.
But I
For
wasn't
every
that
billion
person.
people, I could be. I know, but you made yourself too. So, what was the catalyst for you mentally? When did you say, you know what, I'm gonna start working every day and I'm going to post it every day?
Yeah. I've you know, I had this calling where I've always had this thing of I don't want to be on my deathbed looking back and seeing what could have been. I don't want to have these regrets of like, oh, I wish I would have done Mount Kilimanjaro, or I would have done
Great
triathlon, and I say that because I think you're a hiker. I'm getting a sense you're a hiker.
I climbed Kilimanjaro.
Oh, you did?
I have a tattoo on my heart of Kilimanjaro.
Really? That's awesome. That's awesome.
But tell me about the catalyst. Like, you had this sense, but did something happen? Like, did you meet somebody? Did something happen to you? Was there a, you know, sometimes people have something, death in their family. Something happens that explodes it.
No, I did read a book, and I actually met this guy, David Goggins. So David Goggins, man. Hey, if you ever listen to this, shout out to you, David Goggins. You definitely changed the trajectory of my life. He has a book called Can't Hurt Me, where he talks about his story and his transformation. And I won't rehash it because I think it's like a really popular story now.
Yeah.
But it's a story of a guy who could have been spraying for cockroaches at 300 pounds and living a below average life, and he transformed himself to be the hardest man on earth.
Like, literally. Like, this guy is so hardcore. Everybody who is in the fitness or endurance or mind discipline, like, David Goggins is synonymous with the hardest man alive. So you met him.
I did. I ran in one of his challenges.
No way.
Yeah, it's called the 4x4x48, and it's where you run 4 miles every 4 hours on the hour for 48 hours. So it's like a physical thing, but it's probably 90% mental. So here's the schedule. Friday, 8 p.m., you go for a 4-mile run, you come back, you stretch, you eat something, you stretch, whatever, you take a little nap. Midnight, you go again. 4 a.m., you go again. 8 a.m., you go again. Noon, you go again. 4 p.m., 8 p.m., midnight, 4 a.m., and you keep on doing that for a period of 48 hours.
And the last 4 hours you ran with him?
And I ran miles 41 through 44 with him. Like, I actually ran with the guy, and I'm like, I'm keeping up with David Goggins. Like, holy cow. And I'm not a runner.
Wait, but did you also do your 48?
Yeah. He just happened to be doing, he was riding down the coast.
Oh, so you did the whole challenge.
I did the whole challenge.
Oh, I thought you just joined in the last 4.
No. So I've done it since 2003. I did one where he did it virtually through Instagram. That was the first one that I did. I've done it like 5 times. So now I have a new tradition. I like traditions. You're going to notice that I like my systems. I like my routines. So last year, or the year before last, so 2023, I ended the year, the last 48 hours, by doing the 4x4x48 challenge. That's how I ended my year.
Wow.
So the last 48 hours of that year, I did the 4x4x48 challenge, and then I spent time with my family. This year, I did exactly the same thing.
So you've done that twice now.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to do that maybe mid-year, because it's a good reset. It's like a good reset, because it reminds you that you're capable of so much. And that's a common theme with everything that I'm gonna talk about today. It's just like you need these routines, and you need to continue to push your boundary, and you just keep on doing that over and over and over consistently, and before you know it, you look back and you're like, holy cow, like I'm a different person.
I can't believe I did that.
I can't believe I did that.
Do you surprise yourself with like the kind of stuff that you've
Absolutely
been able to create in such a short period of time?
It's when I sit down and I like think about it, and I take some notes and I reflect. I'm like, wow, wow.
You talked earlier today when we're doing our 160 push-up challenge about habit stacking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important to have like these systems, the discipline. Like, talk a little bit about that and how you view your own life and how you structure it.
Yeah, I mean, like, to start with my name, Do Hard Things 365. I had the opportunity to buy the handle Do Hard Things, but I kind of started liking the 365 because it's very core to what I do. And I'll tell you why. Because I need to hold the line on the day. That's it. I have to do something hard every single day. I think we've all been there, and I'll give you a perfect example of me. I wanted to run a marathon in my early 20s. And, I was like a corporate guy. I was a very busy guy, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pay the registration. I'm going to sign up for something 4 months in advance. I'm going to download a running program from Nike.com. And then for the first week, I'm like super motivated. I'm, new shoes. I'm out there running. And then very quickly, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to skip this Tuesday because I have this business thing, whatever. And then, long story short, I didn't end up running the marathon because like I justified like, man, I let 2 months of training slip, and now I'm trying to catch up in 3 weeks. We won't do this one. We'll do the next one.
Things got in the way. And guess what? I had a false start there. And because I fed that, I rewarded myself saying like, oh, it's no big deal. We'll just sign up for another one. I did that a few times. You keep
postponing. And it took me like 10 years to actually run a marathon.
Wow, okay.
And so because of experiences like that, for me, it's all about action. It's all about velocity. It's all about like the now. So for me, it's super important for on the daily, I tell people, we do hard things every single day. And by the way, for anyone who's watching, your hard, very different than my hard. If you haven't gotten off the couch in months and you're lethargic, you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix all day, maybe your hard is just putting on your shoes, going for a walk. Like, that's it. But then the most important part is you show up the next day. And then over time, you just push that boundary. Maybe you do like two laps around the block, and then maybe 2.5. And then maybe a month down the road, you start jogging a little bit, see how that feels.
So it's just challenging yourself to take it one step further.
Baby steps.
And it really can be that, like putting on the running shoes by your bed, wake up, put them on, and then just go out around the block.
Yeah, but in terms of the actual like habit stacking, I look for opportunities to just stack positive things. So if people say, oh, I don't have time to work out. I wake up, I take care of the kids, and then I got to go to work, and the babysitter, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm like, well, you make your coffee every morning. You're religious about that. So why not do some air squats while you're waiting for your coffee? Like, stack a positive habit on top of something.
What's an air squat? Like jumping and landing on a squat?
No. It's just like a fancy name of just saying like doing a squat without any weight or anything, just your body weight.
Well, regardless. So, do you do this stuff?
I do this stuff, absolutely.
So walk me through your routine. What does Do Hard Things 365 in the morning? When do you wake up? What do you do in the morning? And then walk me through like until like noon.
Until
typical
noon.
Day.
Let's see. It's changed a little bit because now I'm focused on 2 big challenges. I don't know if you want to talk about those challenges now, but in 2025 I took on 2 365-day challenges. One of them is the challenge that we did earlier today. So for every day that goes by, I add 5 additional nonstop push-ups to a set of push-ups that I do. So day 1, I did 5 push-ups.
January 1st.
Yeah, basically. January 1st. January 2nd, I did 10 push-ups.
Okay.
The 3rd, I did 15. And it doesn't seem like much, but it adds up.
Well, today, on February 1st.
It was day 32. 32 times 5, we did 160.
Yeah, it adds up. I cannot imagine what you're gonna be doing in September. Like,
Yeah. I wish I had my spreadsheet. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing in September.
So you wrote a spreadsheet. Okay.
Of course.
So that's one of your challenges. What's your second challenge?
The other one is I'm doing one additional burpee for every day of the year. So I haven't done all my burpees today just yet. So if you do want to pull over at some point and do 32 burpees with me, we can do that.
Okay.
That's just an offer.
It may not be legal to pull over the strip right now. Look where we are. Did you see the car that just went around me? Super mad. It's because we're driving on the strip, and we're chatting it up, and it's Saturday, and people just want to get their drink on.
Yeah.
Okay, so 32 burpees. I'll do those with you.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. We'll
I'll complete today's challenge fully.
I love it.
With what you're doing.
Have you ever heard of the Theodore Roosevelt, the speech he gave, The Man in the Arena?
Maybe what's the line? I'll tell you. Is it
should I just look at it? It's not that long.
Well, you can look it up, and we'll have Gabby, you'll put the speech in 3, 2, 1, now.
Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrills of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat."
In the morning, do you do coffee? Do you pray? Do you stretch? Do you meditate? Like, what is the routine?
Yeah, my routine starts the day before. So the way I like to just plan my day is I like to know what I need to do the next day. And I tried having like really sophisticated systems in the past, like these nerdy tools, if you will, like Asana. Like I would do a lot of project management and these like very complicated WBIS structured work breakdown structure
for yourself,
dependency. Yeah. And it just got too crazy. So now I keep it very simple. I just say, what are the 3 things that I have to do tomorrow that are not part of a meeting that I have to take?
The party bus is pumping, dude. What is happening? That party bus.
It's literally got hydraulics, man.
What are they doing in there? Here, we'll show this. Oh, did it just stop? It looks like they're doing some nasty stuff.
It says they do bachelor parties, bachelorette parties,
look at that.
Weddings, corporate events, golf out. It's a golf outing for sure.
Yeah, this kind of stuff happens, bro. All right, so you get up in the morning. You
No.
got rid of the...
No, it's the night before. I know exactly what I'm going to do the next day. Like, that's it. And it's not... I know what meetings, what calls, whatever. But outside of that, what are the 3 to 5 things I need to do to move certain passions forward? Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Like, what are the things that are not habits that I want to make habits? Maybe one of those things is like, I think I should do yoga, but I'm not doing it. And I keep on postponing it. So maybe tomorrow I do 30 minutes of yoga. I'll go on YouTube and I'll do MadFit. Like MadFit, shout out to MadFit. She's a huge influencer. That's why I started with. But it's just like, yeah, tomorrow's the day that I'm gonna do yoga. And that's it. So I know exactly what my plan is for tomorrow. So when I
plan the day before.
I plan the day before. And you know what's crazy is when I do that, I don't actually need an alarm clock. I just wake up when I need to wake up. It's weird. I'd still put an alarm clock, but if I have to wake up at 6:30, for some reason, 6:25, I'm up right before my alarm clock.
So you're not like a 4 a.m. kind of guy,
No,
3 egg yolks,
No.
Your AG1 greens.
No, I don't do the greens either. I'm on an animal-based type of diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So walk me through that.
Okay. Okay, so I wake up, I do have coffee. I make my coffee. I eat Greek yogurt. It's almost always the same thing. It's the fatty 5% Greek yogurt. I eat a banana usually. Okay. So fruit, yogurt. Once I'm done with that, I do try to get a workout in the morning. I'm a big believer of when you work out, I don't know about you, but I get energized. I do. I might get tired for the moment, but once I'm done with it, I take a shower. I'm like, man, I'm glad I did that.
yeah, you feel energized.
You feel
I
energized.
took a nap, by the way, after. I think I was outspent after our challenge today. I went back home, I walked with the dogs, and then I just like passed out.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I woke up, I was like, oh my god, like when's the last time I took a 2 p.m. nap or whatever? I can't remember it, but it was great. It was it's a great feeling. Like I feel really good about it right now.
There's a sense of accomplishment. So what I do is I try to do something physical. I try to get outdoors. Andrew Huberman talks about just getting sunlight as early as possible. He says like literally within the 10-15 minutes that you wake up, go get sun in your face because of it normalizes your circadian rhythm. So I try to do that. I don't do the whole grounding thing. I know he says you should take off your shoes and go on grass.
Touch it, yeah.
I want to do more things like that, but my routine is just I go outdoors, get some sun on my face. I get back, I probably jump on the computer to do emails, projects, or social media stuff. Once I'm done with that, I'm probably doing another workout right before lunch. For lunch, I'm probably doing ground beef or steak. I'm big on protein. I eat probably 2 pounds of red meat every single day.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
So I have a pretty big lunch. I probably have a medium size, not even a dinner, and I try to skip dinner whenever possible.
So you don't have dinner?
So I try to do intermittent fasting whenever I can.
What? How many calories do you think you burn a day and you consume in food a day?
I probably burn about 4,000 calories.
Every single day?
Probably.
So then you need to like eat 6,000,
Yeah.
Like that's 3 times the average of the normal person.
I'm eating
just
a
so
lot.
that you don't lose weight. And if you're bulking up, which it seems like you're fairly strong, you're eating a lot. Wow, 2 pounds. That's awesome. Do you like eggs?
I like eggs. Even though they're really expensive right now.
I saw. I don't usually do the shopping, but I did one time, like not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, $10.99 for 12 eggs.
Yeah.
I was like stunned.
I'm usually a Costco guy. I do a lot of my meats in bulk because it makes sense. I'm eating a lot of meat, and there they just don't stock eggs right now. Like they are out of eggs in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So you live in LA. I lived in LA for 8 years. I lived in Southern California for maybe over 20 years. So 12 years in San Diego and like 8 years in LA. And I'm here in Vegas, and I really appreciated that you drove from LA yesterday. How did we get connected? How did that come about?
It was through a PR agency.
Someone connected us?
Yeah.
They sent me a message, or you sent me a message, or how did it
They
happen?
sent us an email, I think. It was a common email.
I just remember we had like a 40-minute phone call. While I was out, dude, I was doing the shopping. I was doing that's when I was buying the eggs. I remember I was at the Albertsons, and I remember just talking to you for like 40 minutes, and we've never met.
Yeah.
But it was just like such a cool conversation, and it was just like great.
It was by Alex Gabbert.
Oh my God. Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even put it together.
And he had so many good things to say about you. He's like, hey, we're not officially working together yet, Rich, but I got this guy. He's like, we go way back. He's a good friend of mine, and he just talked you up. And then I looked at your Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely need to connect with this guy. He's doing something right.
That's awesome. Are you working with Alex? Are you guys?
No, not officially, not yet.
Very cool.
Because I'm still small, but I think this is the year that we're gonna start adding a little fuel to the fire. So maybe I need to give Alex a call again. Yeah,
and so I am like super honored, and I'll put this right now on the record and everything. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up, bro. It's your mentality. It's your dedication. You like the nice guy, Mr. Goggins, and Mr. Goggins is incredible, and I think I just think he won't be like, he's just out there. He set the example, like some people just like set the example, and his biggest criticism would be that he's not that nice with people, and I don't care. In fact, I saw him once running from my office. So he lives in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I saw him from my office. I was like, oh my God, I cannot talk to Goggins. And I got in my car and I started chasing him in the car, bro. That's probably like the wrong thing to do. But I rolled down my window and I was like, hey, Mr. Goggins. And he had stopped, finished running, so I'll say that. And he's with his shirt off and everything. I was like, can I take a picture with you? And he just like paused and he was like, well, get out of your damn car, man, let's go. He just like yelled at me. And I got out of my car and I took a picture, and here's the picture right now with Mr. Goggins.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think he's incredible. I think he's an elite. I've seen him speak on stages. He's just, definitely like one of a kind, but he has like this heart, persona, and yours is different. I heard you talking to today, and when we were doing this push-up challenge today, we had the youth with us.
Yeah, we did. That was cool.
It was 3 guys. We basically just put on our story, and with a very small window, and I don't know, it was like 8 of us, and it was like 4 of us in their 40s, and then the other, it was 3 and 3. Like the other 3, there were 3 guys in their 20s, teenagers. Are they teenagers?
For sure. Teenagers.
Oh my God, one of the teenagers was jacked. I'll tell you that. And that was really cool that they were looking up, and you're inspiring the newest kind of generation. So I think I'll put that on the record. I think you're gonna blow up.
Oh, thanks, man.
This
Thanks.
year. I'll do whatever I can in promoting and the podcast, shout outs, because I think eventually it's gonna be hard to book you, man.
Yeah.
But you gotta promise me also that you'll come back.
I will always
to
come
the
back
next
for you.
season.
I will
Yeah,
always come back.
All right,
1,000%. Hey,
Shake on it.
if anyone's willing to get in the ring with me in the arena, and do some push-ups, 1,000%. Like, mad respect. You have no idea how many people are out here just chirping.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, your form's not good. Oh, hey, you're not getting the full range of motion. I'm like, okay, come do 3,000 and then we'll talk.
Yeah. Listen, people love shooting darts
Oh, my
behind the
goodness.
screen in their mama's basement. So,
Oh my goodness.
So the proof is in the pudding, and I think the inspiration of this younger generation was really cool. Like, I felt really cool when these kids were doing it and then showing up to the thing.
Yep.
And I think that's great. They look at us like almost like with the respect, like we're so old. I was like, hey, I want to hang out. I cannot believe they're teenagers now, man. Like, that's just weird.
No,
But-
I felt really good. Like, they pushed themselves, and guess what? I was jumping in my car, and then I messaged one of the guys. I'm like, yo, do you guys want to grab something to eat? Because I need to grab food. Do you guys? And they're like, yeah.
You go eat with
So
the guys?
yes, I went to go have Buffalo Wild Wings with them.
Oh, right next to it?
Yeah. And we just spent like an hour there just chilling, just talking, and they were like so curious about things, and they're like, hey, what do you like when this happens and this happens? I don't want to like talk about what we talked about.
No, that's very cool.
But they were asking like really good questions about like, and they opened up, and it was like, hey, here's the real answer. Like, here's the real answer. And I did feel like a David Goggins, where I was just like giving real talk, and I was just like, hey, you got to look in the mirror, see where you are right now, see where you want to be, and then put in the work to get there.
It's like the mentoring, and I just absolutely love the discipline portion of your message. We talked a little bit on marketing when we were on the phone, and I said, do not like remove the 365. Like, I think this is the brand, and not every day you're gonna be able to do, if you're new, you're watching this, your fitness is not, you don't have 8 hours a day to do fitness, but you can do something that doesn't have to be physical.
Yep.
It could be reading 10 pages. It could be learning a language.
1000%.
It could be whatever it is. Maybe doing some yoga. Maybe meditation is your thing, and you just push yourself. 1 minute meditation, 2 minute meditation,
Yep.
3 minute meditation. Shit, by the end of the year, you'd be doing like 6 hours of meditation. Like, that's some hardcore. That's actually like a really cool 1 minute more every day.
Yeah, if you just focus, like, here, let's just do the simple math. If you actually do the equation for this, if you get 1% better every day, a year later, you're 37 times better than where you are today. 37. A lot of people, they go see a David Goggins video, they get really motivated, and they're like, I'm gonna be 1,000% better by tomorrow. And then they go and they try to run 10 miles for the first time, and they get injured. And it's like, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
The way to do it is just like show up every day, push a little bit. That's it. My core message with Do Hard Things is do hard things every single day, get 1% better every day, or shoot to get 1% better every day. And then the third one is just do it for a long time.
That's it. I think you hit it right there. At some point, I've made some videos about discipline and motivation, and I was talking about like how motivation gets you going, but it's discipline that keeps you going, and discipline outweighs motivation
1,000%
all the time. That's really cool. Mia, for my niece, if you're ever watching this, my niece stayed with us for the entire month of January. She's 15 years old. She came from Mexico, so she was learning English. And every morning I was walking with her at 7 in the morning. I would wake her up. She's a teenager on vacation. She doesn't want to get up at 7 in the morning. But I'm waking her up. We're doing this gratitude. And I taught her, like, discipline over, your motivation. Discipline over motivation. And on the very last day, like, I was asking her, what'd you learn about it? And, she told me a few things. And she said, like, I learned that discipline is more important than motivation. And that made me feel so good, man.
Yeah.
She's 15 years old and lives in Mexico with my mom and my sister. And it's the inspiration of the new people. As we turn around on the second half, I want to know, like, a little bit more about you, like, on the coming up, like, where did you grow up, man? Where's your family from? You mentioned a couple of times about a business career. It doesn't seem like you're in that anymore. So let's get to that. Like, where were you? Where were you born?
So really quickly on that last chapter, I just want to tell you this because someone actually called me 2 days ago. There's a 50-day challenge that I created that we started on January the 10th. It's called First 50, and I created it because where I think a lot of people are just not that good is with building the discipline and building the momentum. Like, I think people are terrible at it. There's information out there for learning how to do a perfect push-up. Hey, give me a 12-week program for abs, whatever. You can go in ChatGPT and you can say, like, hey, give me this stuff. But where people suck is actually putting in the work. So the challenge is no mystery. We're doing 4 easy things. We're choosing a diet. We're sticking to it for 50 days. And you could do whatever diet you want. Like, my mom's doing the challenge. And really? She cut out tortillas and soda. That's her diet. And that's hard for her. That's good.
Hell
She chose that.
That's going to make a big difference to her. Shout out to mama.
Shout out to mama. Number 2 is we're working out for 50 minutes a day. 50 minutes is very achievable for anyone, even the busiest person. I used to be a busy person, and we could talk about that. Number 3, you get outdoors for 25 minutes a day for a walk, run, ruck, whatever. There's studies that say, obviously, vitamin D, very good for you, getting exposure to sun. But then there's also these studies, one from University of Michigan, that says if you go outdoors into a park, into a green space, 3 times a week for at least 20 minutes, you have some effects that are equivalent of taking antidepressant drugs. Like, they're doing the studies. You guys can go look at the study.
That's awesome. We'll link them in right here.
But it's incredible, like, incredible powerful things that come from just being outdoors. And especially like during COVID, everybody was working remote from their office. And then the last thing we do is we just drink our water. Most people are 3 out of 4 Americans severely dehydrated. Like, that's just a fact. We're supposed to be drinking like 2.5 liters to 3.5 liters, depending on your gender, your age, this and that. And people don't drink nearly that water.
Shout out to my InstaChava green mug. I got my water right here and my Element. Have you ever had Element?
Yeah, I have.
I love them. Those guys sponsored my wedding.
Oh man, shout out to Element.
Shout out to Element. I really love them because, I want to get like a few packets for the wedding that had 150 people.
Yeah.
Bro, they sent me like 1,000 packets.
That's awesome.
Like, I was like, oh my God, like, and they're like, well, we figure it's a wedding, it's 3 days, people are gonna be really hungover. That's awesome. They're really, so yes, I really appreciate it. So those 4 things are the things things.
And by the way, we've been doing it since January the 10th, and I got a call 2 days ago from this lady, and she's like, hey Rich, I just want you to know, and this is a free thing, I'll probably start charging money for it, but it's a free thing right now. And this lady, she's like, hey, I just have to thank you because I have spent thousands of dollars over the last few years on personal trainers, and the amount of progress that I've made with my fitness in just three weeks with this free program, this is my transformation.
That's the best.
And
that's the best.
And we're just doing the fundamentals. Like, no magic. I'm not spinning anything. I'm not like selling anything. It's just the fundamentals. We do these 4 things every day for 50 days, and people are starting to vibrate. Like there's a higher vibration in them, and I can see it. And once they get that higher vibration, now they're like, oh wait, oh, can I do this? Like one person started painting now. She started painting. Like how is that related to fitness?
It just unlocks something in the brain.
And that's what I want to do for people. I want the engine to start. There's a car and it's been rusty. It's been out in the rain. What I want to help people do is get that engine warmed up, lubricated, moving, because once it's moving, well, now you can move that car wherever you want. You might want to learn a new language. You might want to go write a book. But if you don't have that energy, that motivation, that daily discipline, it's going to be very hard to do all these other things.
That's awesome. And that's only in 3 weeks. So that's the best kind of advertising that you can do, you know, when other people generally say, you know what, you've already changed my life. It's been 3 weeks. I do want to talk about the programs. So you mentioned 2 that you're going on right now. So the 365 every day, is that just you, or those are the programs that you're talking about?
No, those are just challenges for me.
Those are challenges for you.
And
okay.
just to kind of,
you do so much in fitness.
I know.
You got 8 hours of stuff. So
no, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the beginning, when I started to do hard things, people are like, "Oh, this is like an ego thing. This is like oh, you're just trying to show off," and people didn't understand it. But I have to be doing exceptional things for people to listen to me.
Yes.
Like I have to. If I was fat, if I was lazy, if I was a bum, if I didn't have a decent car, people would be like, why should I listen to this guy? But so I have to be the guy that's doing 4-hour planks, that has to be doing 3,000 push-ups. It's going to be 3,500 soon, by the way, probably this week. Maybe 4,000. We'll see if we get there. But I have to be that guy so people go, oh, maybe this guy actually knows what he's talking about. And by the way, that's just on the physical side, but these are the same principles that I've applied to other aspects of my life. I went to some of the top universities in the world. I worked at some of the best corporations in the world. And so...
Okay, so you have education and everything. By the way, have you seen this bus?
No, I don't know.
What the fuck is going on?
There's a QR code. I'm not going to scan the QR code.
What is
Do
this?
you want me to get you a picture?
God. Yes, this is the kind of stuff that, like, dude, this looks like an asylum. This looks like the Stranger Things, you know, upside down. What is going on as we're filming here? There's no way. What is that on the top?
That's funny.
The shit that you see in Vegas, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, bro. So tell me, okay, they were saying on the program. So, yeah, the programs that you're talking about right now. I got like.
Oh yeah, so I'm doing them for 2 reasons. I have to do exceptional things.
Yeah.
I have to do exceptional things, so people say, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. But then also, it also sets an example of, and what I tell people on my live streams, I live stream 5 times a week, and I get a lot of young people. I say like, hey, let this be the inspiration of you taking on a challenge that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
So maybe you can't do 5 additional nonstop push-ups, but maybe what you could do is add 1 more push-up every day. And maybe you don't do them in one session, just spread them out throughout the day. Like find your version of a progressive overload type of challenge, and it doesn't have to be my challenge. Oh, go take an extra step every day of the year. You know, like come up with something that's going to make you better. So I got influenced by this guy, this phenomenal guy in Argentina. I don't know him personally, but Hero Arias. This guy, did you see him?
No, I don't know who he is.
Hero Arias, he did a 365-day challenge where he was doing 1 additional pull-up for every day of the year. So December 31st, he actually did 366 pull-ups without leaving the bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's jacked.
Yeah.
That's like insane.
That is insane. So when I see people like that, I get inspired by everyone. Goggins inspired me. This guy Hero, I'm like, well, what if I did that for push-ups? Like, I want to do that for push-ups. And so that's what I'm doing.
I love that you're getting inspiration from other people. It's crazy that what social media can do. Someone around the world in a completely different continent, country, they can inspire somebody like us over here, and then you yourself is a ripple effect, and you're starting inspiring other people. So you went to good schools, you said.
You know, on that little point, there's something that someone said. Who said this? Jordan Peterson said this. You know Jordan Peterson?
I do know him.
He's like big on social.
He said some amazing things, but what did it remind you of?
But he did say something that was incredibly powerful. He says like, hey, you guys, I can't do the impression. I was going to do the impression, but he has a very unique way of talking. But he says, you know, we think that we are just one person in a pool of 8 billion people. And that's like super depressing, because what kind of impact are you going to have? But the reality is, we're more like nodes in a system. What do they say? Like, how many degrees separation from Kevin Bacon?
I don't know, but I have to take a picture of this, bro. What is going on, bro?
Like, you're the driver?
No, I don't even want to look. Bro, I'm looking at you and I see like a bloody person in the fucking bus. Where's the driver? Oh my God. This is like crazy. How is this legal? Jordan Peterson is incredible on some of those things, and yes, we do make a difference when we're
and it's
one
like
person can make a big difference.
It's the ripple thing that you talk about. So Hero, David Goggins inspired me, and then now me in turn, I'm inspiring hundreds, thousands of people around me, and then they're inspiring their little household, their parents, their daughters.
That's exactly the point. Like, you will never reach their aunt, but you'll get to the teenager or the son, whatever, who's going to inspire the wife or their daughter or whatnot, and that's really powerful.
I have a girl right now, 10 years old. She just happened to scroll on my channel, and I'm like, I'm getting trolled. This is not a 10-year-old girl, because she's like, oh, I'm doing push-ups with you, and she would like put her numbers as we're doing it, because on YouTube it's just one way, and then people interact with me on the chat.
Like, you're doing a live stream?
Yeah, like I'm doing a live stream. So I started doing these pull-up live streams. So I would just do pull-ups, answer questions, and then now it's developed into this whole interactive thing where every 7 minutes there's a timer that comes down, and people do either burpees, squats, or push-ups with me.
Well, let's talk about those. So when are those? What days are these
I do them
live streams?
I do them Fridays. I actually did them from my hotel here because I didn't want to cancel, because people look forward to them. So I brought all my equipment, like 3 bags of equipment, so I could live stream from my hotel. And I'm going to do another one Sunday morning, 7 a.m. It's inconvenient. It's super inconvenient, but there's people out there that really look forward to it. So
you did it on Saturday, so today? Or when did you do it?
Friday night.
So yesterday?
Yeah.
You did one yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
A live stream from your hotel room in Las Vegas?
2-hour live stream.
Of pull-ups or of what?
We were doing burpees, push-ups, and squats.
And you did these last night?
I did them last night.
I love it. This is awesome. So even if you're traveling, you drove 5 hours from LA, and you still got it done.
We got after it. But I do it because there's like this girl, Lily, who I thought was just someone who was trolling me. And then on one of my Instagram lives, I do another Instagram live that people are loving. On Wednesdays, people call in and they get on video with me, and we do one set of nonstop push-ups together. So some people do 10, some people do 20. There's some younger kids that are doing 1,000.
What?
Yes, absolutely. And then they see people like me, and they're like, I want to do 3,000 now. So this girl, Lily, she came on, and I'm like, that actually is a 10-year-old girl who's been following me.
She's a child.
And she's doing pull-ups. The other day, she planked with me, and she held a 1-hour plank.
No way.
A
10-year-old?
10-year-old held a 1-hour plank. She used to hold like 7 minutes and 8. And she's been with me for like 3 or 4 months now.
Where are her parents?
but then she like gets her sister involved, and then she's like tells her parents about it, and then the parents are also exercising.
That's exactly the ripple. Oh my God. I'm thinking it the other way. I'm thinking like the father's gonna find you and then it's gonna get their 10-year-old, but it worked the other way around. That tells you how amazing it is. That's the cool thing about the community in social media. So what's your biggest platform? Let's talk a little bit about marketing.
My biggest platform is YouTube right now. YouTube, I have about 22,000 or 23,000 followers so far.
Video, what's your biggest video?
Biggest video, I have one that has about 19 million views.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You went viral
Yeah,
with that.
I went viral with one of them.
That's awesome. Wow. And what was this one video?
It was a planking, so it was like half comedy. So there was a trend of people doing fake planks, fake time-lapse planks, and they were funny videos where like there'd be one person planking, another person in the room doing something like being on a computer, and then they're doing a fake time-lapse, and then a third person comes in and says, "What are you guys doing?" And everybody's in real time, and the main person says, "Oh, we're doing a time-lapse," and the person says, "Oh," and then they all start wiggling together. So it's a funny concept. But then I said, I'm probably one of the few people in the world that can actually do a real time lapse, and then a third person walks in, and then we do fake time lapse. So that's what I did. I planked for like an hour and a half, so it's all sped up in the beginning. It's a real time lapse. The clouds are moving, and then we had a person come in and say, "What are you guys doing?" And I turn around and say, "Time lapse." And then
But yours is real.
And then after that, we did the fake one where we were just like jiggling.
Oh, I gotta post that video.
Yeah,
How long is your actual YouTube video that got 19 million views?
It's a short. It's a YouTube short. It's good, like 40 seconds, 30
Oh,
seconds.
we'll play it right here, Gabby.
Yeah.
We'll play the video right now.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Time lapse.
Oh.
This is so dumb.
All right, so that's awesome. So this video right now just got 19 million views.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you started. And so, at what point did you decide to make this like your, I guess like your not just your passion, but like to turn it into a business, because you have to make money out of it.
You have to make money. You have to make money. Yeah. So now I'm a YouTube partner. So I'm starting to see a path to making this a business. Getting ad revenue. I can now get ad revenue because I have a lot of followers. I get a lot of views. My channel gets a lot of views. And then I also got a sponsor. So my sponsor, shout out to fire.cx. They were awesome. More than just the money, they've been connecting me with people that are leveling up my live streams, for example. They're going to connect me with some pretty big names, some pretty big collaborations.
That's
incredible. I don't want to say what those
That's
collaborations are, but because there's a chance they might not happen, but these are some pretty big names.
I'm telling you, you're gonna blow up, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna blow up. It's the S curve effect. Is like everybody thinks growth is just linear. Oh, I've done it, 2 weeks, I should be growing 2 weeks, 8 months, I should be growing 8 months. But it's just like stale, and then boom, and it's just like goes up. And this is gonna be your year, bro. You gotta get just another one of those big videos, another big partner, and then somebody is gonna want to do that, and then maybe Mr. Goggins himself wants to say, "Hey man,
dude, that would be
I
the
remember you
ultimate.
running. Come over back to Vegas and let's do something."
Dude, that would be the ultimate
His
collaboration.
gym is across the street from my office, so that's where I saw him.
Really?
Yeah, I can't really say it just to not not to
Okay,
put, like,
okay. You
pressure,
know what?
but-
This is what we're gonna do. Off camera, tell me where it's at. I'm gonna go there tomorrow, and I'm just gonna do nonstop push-ups until he comes out.
It may be unlikely that he's there. I really don't know. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more off camera. But that's how I saw him. Really, like he was. I think he was coming back to the gym. All right. So the business. Going back to the business part, right? So you gotta make money. You gotta have your promotions.
Yep.
You're now also growing your Instagram because you just mentioned doing Instagram Live.
Yep.
Do you have an X account?
I have the names for X, Discord, which one? Substack.
Okay, you gotta have X. X is the
X,
largest platform in news. Right now, I'm building up on it by posting marketing content that I grab. It's actually, I'm doing the opposite. I'm learning marketing content on X, which is crazy, and then I'm repurposing that into my Instagram videos.
So it's the feeder for your Instagram.
Correct. Like
Yeah.
I learned so much from X that I was like, man, that could be just a great video. Instead of me reading it, I just talk about it. And so for you, it's whatever you're doing over here, you can translate it into text for it. Whether it's Motivation Monday of the day quote, whether it's like your recipe, forget what you ate today and your workout. If you just at every night before you go to bed, you type on X, this is what I ate and this is what I accomplished in my physical fitness today, and then just do it every day. Take the 5 minutes to do it. Your X account will blow up. Like people will start following that, and X is X is enormously powerful, especially now with that, you know, the whole conversation happens on that platform.
Interesting.
And now you can post videos. You can do videos. You can do a lot of stuff. But anyways,
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And because I want you to succeed, you know. Every time I drive here, I am absolutely mesmerized. Like, Vegas is
It's crazy,
the
right?
best city. Like,
It's
I cannot
crazy.
believe humans built this.
In the desert.
This is
Where there's
incredible.
nothing.
Like the Bellagio is like from the movie from Ocean's 11. Like, just we live in an amazing
Ooh,
time.
Bellagio burpees.
Bellagio burpees, bro. Oh, we still gotta do the burpees. The problem is we can't stop where we are.
Yeah.
But fuck it, we are gonna do it. No, I can't stop right here, but I'm gonna pull into the Bellagio. We're gonna park the car. We're gonna end the podcast, and then we're gonna come in and do the burpees right here in front of the
Oh,
fountain.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah?
That's awesome.
All right, fuck. Let me see if I can do this.
Bellagio burpees.
I am pushing it. All right. Thank you guys.
That's awesome.
Wow. I've never done this stuff where I just like, you know, change the format of the podcast, whatever. But I said I wasn't gonna be a bitch.
He said he was doing both challenges, so here we go.
Oh my god. But you don't eat dinner after?
It changes, but I try to do intermittent fasting. I think it's really good for you. I think it's really good because you get into a state of ketosis. So when you're not eating for a while, your body starts releasing ketones, and you start eating your fat basically as the energy source. But yeah, I've tried everything, man. I think where a lot of my power comes from, a lot of my wisdom, is just I've tried everything.
Yeah.
And so when people ask me on my live stream questions, like, I feel like I can speak from a place of authority of saying, like, yes, I've tried this and this is why it worked, this is why it did not work. I did keto for 3 years.
Oh wow. So that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. So
yeah.
I've tried things and I've failed at things, and I've been fat and I've been weak and I've been strong, and I will tell you, like, this is the way. What I'm doing now, this is the way.
This is the best shape you've been
It's
ever,
the best
right?
shape, mental acuity, everything. It's like, this is the way. And I'm 43, right?
But you don't have dinner, even though like all these crazy workouts, and you don't feel like I'm starving right now, bro.
Your body gets used to it.
Yeah?
Your body 1000% gets used to it.
Huh. But I'm not that. I want to build it up. So I mean, I don't know. I'm craving right now. I was like, man, I'm just gonna go to like a all you can eat sushi and just like get my fish in there. It's my favorite spot.
When I was jumping into keto, I used to have this thing where I loved blueberry muffins. I know it sounds weird, but I loved blueberry muffins. Yeah, it was like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I would get a craving for it. But when I started doing keto, there's something that changes in your gut in like 2-3 months. I read that there's certain things that kind of starve themselves, and you're just like, your composition changes where you just don't have those cravings anymore. You just don't. I used to walk by in the grocery store. I'm like, oh my god, there would be like this animalistic, like, I need to have a blueberry muffin. But then after like 2 or 3 months, it's all gone.
That's great. I mean, that was your Achilles heel, the blueberry muffin.
The blueberry muffins.
We're doing this, bro. We're pulling into the Bellagio.
Hey, by the way, I think you can use my card here. I think I get free parking.
What, you're a gambler or what?
They gave me status. Oh wait, did I leave it in the car? I think I might.
Wait, is this where you're staying?
No. I'm staying at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't have my player's card. I left it in the Jeep. Oh man.
It's all good.
I shouldn't overpromise. I should just stay quiet.
You'd be like, boom, I got you, Chava.
Exactly.
I'm a gambler.
And then I found this. Oh, there's another thing that I'm doing. I have an account called Do Good Things 365, and it's where I actively try to do something good every single day.
Okay.
I just started that January 1st. So I'm looking for opportunities to do a good deed. So I've done things like I go around my neighborhood and I just pick up trash, or I go to the local store, my local Sprouts, and I just put some carts away that are just like floating out there. So I just do like these
Nice.
good things.
Give me 1 second. Oh, do good things.
And what I like about that challenge, it kind of, it started rewiring my head. It started rewiring my brain where I'm looking for opportunities to do good things.
Okay.
So I have to do something good every day and post about it. And so check it out. You ask the universe, and I found an employee's ID badge. It's like, all right, this is my good deed. There's an MGM employee. I'm not going to say her name, but I'll cover her identity. She lost her card. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go return it. That's my good deed. That's it.
That is great, man.
And it was one of these things where I was just walking by and I just saw a card. I'm like, huh, I wonder what that is. Before this, I would just been like, whatever.
You step on it, kick it. Yeah.
It's like, I got my stuff to do. But now it's like, oh, let me see what that is.
Now you're actively looking for something good to do.
Exactly. The other day, there was a person in a wheelchair in the park, and they weren't moving. And I'm like, uh-oh, let me go check in on them. And I get closer, and they were just on their iPad. But it was like that thing where my first instinct was like, oh, maybe I could do some good here. Maybe the guy needs a little push. And I love that. It's one of my favorite challenges.
That's gonna bring a lot of good karma to you. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're like the good version.
The good version. Dude, I like that.
I don't want to say the negative. No. That sounds like he's the bad and you're good. No.
Dude, one thing that I've learned is like
kind. Yeah.
Because I've had an issue with like, oh, how do I brand myself? How do people think about me? And like, it's not that complicated. Like, there's so many like people that they're like, oh, you're trying to be like Goggins. I'm like, I'm a lot like Goggins, but I'm also a lot different than Goggins.
Yeah.
And we can all coexist, and we can all have different audiences.
The world would be great if there's 10 Goggins, 10 types, but everybody has its uniqueness, and that's what makes you, stand out. I love the name. Like I just, I like the do good things 365 too.
Yeah.
That's like a cool thing. All right, so now we're just looking for once I've gotten out of the car during a podcast because I was talking to a girl and she owns a business in, oh my God, I can't believe one second. She owns a business in theta healing. And so that really like after me I was like, what is this? She's like, it's going through the subconscious and some type of not regression, but like removing the blockages and everything. So she was speaking about her business and everything, and we started talking about some kind of diet, what she eats, just like things like that, and and she talked about like I can't remember how the conversation started, bro, but it was something about a cleanse, and I'm thinking in my mind like you eat something, the cleanse, but she was referring to like the physical one where they they insert stuff and they cleanse you and she's like, and I feel like I was like, does that work? And I was just like genuinely curious, bro. As I'm driving, she was like, my doctor's office is right here, and I was like, oh yeah, we should do it. And she goes, really, we should do it? And I was like, oh my God, and I had it on tape. And I had to get out of the car and do this thing.
Oh my goodness.
That was completely uncomfortable. But what's crazy is that out of all the podcasts I've done 2 seasons of this, that's the only podcast that the cameras, like something happened where the editors couldn't piece together the audio with the video. Like something happened where that part of the story has never been seen on the footage or anything.
Who'd you pay to delete it?
It's probably for the best, bro. I was mortified. I did not know what I was getting myself into. And I was like, what? How long? What are you doing? What? It's crazy. But it's supposed to like, whatever.
So off camera, did it work?
Stuff comes out. Like, your soul gets sucked out. But so I was like, all right, since then on I was like, I'm always just gonna keep it in the car, it's gonna be great. But now here we are, we're gonna be doing the burpees.
Yep.
We're gonna be doing the burpees.
Your Bellagio burpees.
Bellagio burpees. The car's leaving, but it's on the wrong way. Yeah, that's cool. And then on the way back, like when it's because I opened my mouth, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna do the burpees with you. And here we are.
Here we are. Did you ever see that movie with Jim Carrey, Yes Man?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's an awesome movie.
Say yes. Say yes.
Yes, he's got to do it. It's
There's
almost like a spin-off of like the Liar Liar, because you know it's like he can't lie. He just always has to. He has to do it. But Yes Man is a great concept.
But it's like people always take news as like, oh, this is bad, this is good. It's like, you don't know. Like, life is so complicated. Like, one little bad thing, it turns out could be a very good thing. It's like that Chinese story of the Chinese farmer. Did you ever hear this one where the horse runs away? No, so I'll tell it to you. I'm probably gonna butcher it because I'm terrible at this stuff. But there's a small village. There's a kid who lives with his father. They have a small ranch, and one day the horse runs away.
Okay.
And they depend on that horse. And the villagers come and they go, oh, we're so sorry. It's such bad luck. The farmer says, well, maybe it's good luck, maybe it's bad luck. Who knows? Well, about a week later, the horse comes back with 10 wild horses because the horse was just lonely. It was the only horse on the farm. So it came back with 10 friends. And then now the villagers came like, oh my God, this is great news. Good fortune. The farmer says, yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So then they start breaking in these wild horses because, you know, you have to domesticate the horses. And as they're breaking them in, one day the kid gets flung off the horse. He snaps his leg. Like, he's in very bad shape. The villagers come, they're like, oh, this is really bad. Such bad luck. The farmer says, oh, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. And then fast forward, there's a big war. Oh, it's Avis.
Oh, we thought we had one. Yeah, fast forward, I'm listening. This is great.
So this kid gets flung off. He breaks his leg. The villagers come. They're like, oh, this is very bad. The farmer says, well, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Fast forward to, there's a war going on in the country, and they're short. They're enlisting kids. So the army comes through, and they come to the town and they say, hey, you have to lend us your kids to go fight in the war. But guess what? This kid couldn't go because he was just deformed because of his leg.
That's great.
And so the whole point of the story is that life is so complicated that any one little thing that you think is like a very bad thing, end of the world, could actually turn out to be a very good thing.
I love it. It's that there's that duality. I love that, bro. I have plenty of stories about my personal life about that specific.
I'll give you one example for me and Do Hard Things. I went to go do this. I went to go do the Grand Canyon for the first time, and I jacked up my knee. I got a sprained PCL. I just was underprepared. The hiking group that I went with, they didn't really like tell me exactly. They gave me some okay advice, and basically I had the wrong shoes and I had way too much weight on me, and I sprained my PCL on my left side. And at the time I was training Krav Maga. I was like belting up. I was like, had so much momentum. I'm like, I want to be a black belt. And then when I came back, I just had this pain, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you sprained it and you have torn meniscus. And so they said, we got to immobilize you for 6 weeks. And for 24 hours, I'm like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever. I got so depressed. And then I remembered Jocko Willing talking about good. Like, whenever something bad happens, you say good. And so I said, you know what? I jacked up my knee. Good. I'm still going to go to the gym, and I'm just going to work on upper body. So for those 6 weeks, literally, I would go to the same gym. Like, I was like a pirate because I was walking in like peg leg. And then I would just do pull-ups, bench press, everything that was upper body. And in those 6 weeks, that was actually the beginning of Do Hard Things. Because if it wasn't for that, I would have gone down the path of being like a black belt in Krav Maga and being like a BJJ nerd. Like, I'm not saying that in an offensive way, but just like that I geek out on that little thing.
That's crazy. So that's the origin of the whole thing.
That is,
like,
that is the origin.
Sprained, and you turn the negative into something else, and that was the original of the 365.
That's right.
I love that. I think that's awesome. That's exactly what. That's awesome.
That's what you were looking for.
Well, I knew there had to be something that pivots, and usually it comes from pain. Remember at the very beginning I was telling like this, either like a family passing, or there's, you know, it could be anything. It could be a divorce, or it could be like just something that, like, you know what, like I sold the company, and now just, you know, I'm just staying here and have all this additional income and time, and that was it for you. You injured yourself.
I did, and then guess what? It opened my mind. I'm like, man, I'm doing all these pull-ups. And then once I got healed, I started just taking I tend to go in deep. So if I'm doing something like I would go and I'd stay for 4 hours. I'd do like multiple classes, and in between, I'm like, let me just do sit-ups. Let me see how many I could do. And I started doing like 300 nonstop sit-ups, then 400, then 500, then 600, and then I would go the full hour in between classes. So I would do like a hardcore Krav class. I do an hour of nonstop sit-ups, and then I jump into Muay Thai kickboxing. And this was like literally the beginning of like me opening my mind and saying, oh my God, what am I capable of?
Bro, that's a great story. I love when something negative, which we view it at the time as negative, we can look back and be like, that was a good thing that happened. That's
Got one.
oh, nice catch. I'm just like doing laps here in the parking lot. There's a very famous speech by Steve Jobs, Stanford commencement ceremony, and he talks about connecting the dots, and Gabby, drop the lines right here.
Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference.
And that part of the story is basically that it's very easy to connect the dots looking at the past. No one can connect the dots looking into the future, but now that you know, like, oh, now I know why that happened. Now I know why I injured myself. Now I know why I moved city. Now I know, you know, X, Y, and Z. Something always happens, and you can only connect dots looking back. All right. Next time we come back, I'll be done with what, 32 burpees?
32 burpees.
All right, that's doable.
Let's do it. Very doable.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on the fountain. I can't take this off, so you're gonna film on your phone?
Yeah, for sure. I got a phone. Okay, guys, so this is day 32 of adding one additional burpee for every day of the year. This is the Bellagio burpee edition. I'm here with Chava. He's a pretty big deal here in Vegas, so he wanted to do this. We're doing a podcast, and we're just taking a pit stop here at the Bellagio to get our 32 burpees done.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
We did it.
Good job.
32.
32
Burpee
guys.
challenge.
32 burpees, day 32, Las Vegas, Bellagio burpees with Chava.
That's awesome.
Woo!
Can't wait for September 1st.
Bellagio burpees.
We're all going Bellagio burpees, guys. I felt like that was like 30 minutes ago because we got stuck in the parking lot forever, but that's right here. We're right here doing the burpees.
Do I turn this light on?
Yeah, 1 second.
A lot going on. A lot going on in Vegas.
Bro, I think the light might be going out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You want me to do this?
You can open this for more
okay.
light.
Got it. Extra light. Got it.
All right, so we're going in, turning right. People are walking. We don't want to run over people. All right, so we were going to say, let's hold that. What was the conversation? We're going to talk about something. Was it the MIT? Like, this guy is also highly educated.
Yeah, I got a decent resume, I guess.
Yeah, so talk about that. Like, because people are going to think, oh, he just works out. No, like.
No. You want me to walk through my resume or what? Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
I went to MIT. I was computer science, electrical engineering. I worked for an aerospace company, so I was involved with designing and launching military satellites.
Whoa, shit.
For a big defense provider. I got a master's while I was there. They were nice enough of a company that they paid for my master's. So I went to USC for a master's of engineering. And then I ended up leaving this company to go get my MBA at Yale University. So I'm an MBA from Yale School of Management as well.
Bro.
Yeah.
Give me. Damn, that's hard. That's a hard flex right there. So you went to MIT and you have a Yale MBA.
Yes, sir.
And you can do 3,000 push-ups.
3,000 burpees.
Oh my god.
3,000 push-ups, a lot of burpees.
Bro, that's awesome. So that just shows you, like, sometimes people make like judgments or impressions and whatnot, but you work hard all your life, bro. That's amazing. All right, so we did the 32 push-up, not push-up, 32 burpee, Bellagio burpee challenge. Guys, it's Saturday night. It's a Chinese New Year weekend, and it's crazy busy. And here we are filming a podcast in the middle of like Vegas. Have you ever been in a Tesla before?
My sister has a Tesla, but not with cameras.
Does she punch it?
No, she does not. Wow.
This is the performance one. Yeah, you
Wow.
can for an electric car.
That was amazing.
But we're yeah, so we're on the final stretch on the go around. So we were talking when the cameras were off about marketing. You know, what are some of the goals? What are some of the things to do? What do you think? You know, you could, you know, in marketing, what is it that you need to take it to the next level?
Yeah, I think I have a pretty good story. I think I have a pretty good message. I think I just need to find my people, and I feel like I'm finding my people organically. But I would love to add some sort of fuel to that fire and knock on more doors and let people know that I'm here and this is my message.
Yeah, this is happening. Do you are they Hispanic community, Latino community? I know you speak Spanish. You spoke Spanish earlier.
I did.
Do they follow you? Like, is that a niche that you want to go after?
That could be a niche.
I don't know any. I don't know any Mexicans. Are you Mexican?
Yeah. My parents are born in Mexico. They're now U.S. citizens.
Awesome. I don't know any Mexicans that went to MIT and a master's in Yale. They could do the 3 last. Like, you're honestly one of one.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
You know, so that's pretty awesome. I think you would represent, you know, highly the community, the people, and I mean that's an easy way for you, like, you know.
You know, I'm for anyone. I have people in my community that are 10-year-old girls, like the girl I was talking about. I got older people. I got all races. Apparently, I'm big in India. A lot of India likes me. Shout out to India.
Yeah. See, that's crazy that your message, reputation, really, motivation can go all the way across.
Dude, let me tell you, I have these live streams on Instagram, and that one people can call in, and I could see them, they could see me. We do push-ups together. I had people from
They video you?
No, so I'm on a live stream, and they can request to join, and if I click their button, their camera turns on, and then all of a sudden we're just live streaming together.
Okay.
So in that live stream, I call it the Worldwide Nonstop Push-Up Collaboration.
Okay.
And I just have people from all over the world. I have people from New Zealand, from London, from France, from India, I had someone from Iran.
No way.
Iran. And they told me not to say Iran, it's Iran.
Iran.
I said Iran, they're like, no, bro.
It's Iran.
It's Iran.
Yeah.
It's Iran.
My 2 best friends are from Iran.
Yeah.
Persian, but there's like a whole world of community that you can connect with, and your message is one of those things that it can transcend borders, age, races, and I want to say like fitness too. Like there is a mental, you know, motivation.
1000% direct connection. So that's why I tell people I'm not a fitness influencer. I'm a daily discipline mindset type of guy, but I use physical feats and challenges to get the engine started, to get it going, because when people start focusing on the physical, it's very easy for the mind to make the connection of saying, I'm putting in work and I'm getting stronger. I can lift heavier weights. I can walk longer distances. I can run longer distances. And there's something that happens in your mind that makes that connection.
That's incredible.
And you can't really do that like when you do something like too academic. You don't know, you can't measure it. But here in the real world, you go to the gym every day, you get stronger.
Measurable.
It's measurable, and there's something magical that happens to the mind.
It's tangible, it's measurable. People can set goals, whether it's weight, whether there's a specific number of push-ups. I used to go down a 32-second plank, but now I can do 3 minutes. Didn't you tell me that story about that person in how they started with the plank and where they're at right now?
Oh yeah, no, I do these live events Friday in Los Angeles, Friday mornings, and then Sundays hit or miss. But Friday mornings, I put a mat out. I put 2 mats out. I'm on one of them, and I'm planking for an hour, and then I just have a sign and it says plank with me, and so people just rotate through that other mat. And in the beginning, they're like, some people are apprehensive, some people join. I have many regulars that come, and these regulars, their minds are opening up because one person, for example, Stephanie, she joined me like 2 months ago. The first plank she held. She was there with her friend working out, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, join me." So 3 minutes the first time, and then the next time she saw me, we pushed it. So 4 minutes, then 5 minutes, and then you fast forward to this last Friday, she did 32 minutes.
No way, Stephanie! Shout out to you.
32 minutes.
Is it 32-minute plank?
32 minutes. And she's telling me, and she's also in my first 50 community, and she's like, Rich, like, I've never had this confidence. I've never had this momentum. I didn't think I was capable of all these things. And she's crushing it.
That's awesome. That's another great, way of connecting with people, but just by you setting the example. You literally were just doing there, hey, there's an extra mat. Welcome, guys. Come plank with me. That's a great idea.
And people tell me all the time, they plank with me, and then they go off and they do their classes, and then they come back and they're like, hey, Rich, I actually thought of you the other day when our instructor said, hold this squat or hold this plank for 2 minutes. And I'm doing it, and I'm starting to get tired, and then I go, but Rich can do an hour. And then that gives me motivation to finish it. I'm like, awesome. That's what it's about.
That's really the best.
And then I get inspired because then all of a sudden, like in that same type of planking event that I have a 81-year-old Korean woman who comes. The first time she does like 5 minutes. I'm like, that's amazing. And then she comes and she looks for me. And then the next time she came, she did 8 minutes.
Dude, 5 minutes is hard already on a plank.
81-year-old Korean woman.
And then she did
grandma.
8 minutes? An 81-year-old?
8
So
minutes.
literally from 8 to 80, you got everything in between.
It's
That's really
incredible.
awesome. Yeah, what a cool thing. Like, where can people like find you on these? Are you allowed? Do you want to say that in public?
Oh yeah,
for your
no,
plank?
I'm very public, so you come find me. Just don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird.
Where do you do these Friday morning ones?
So Friday mornings, it's in Los Angeles. It's at the top of the Culver City Stairs. It's a famous place
Very
that people
popular,
go. Very
yeah.
popular, good fitness place. 7:30s. It probably won't change. So if you're watching this a year from now, I'll probably still be there because I want to send the message of just like, hey, consistency. Like get a routine, get a schedule going, and then
it's hard enough to just get up the stairs. By the way, guys, like people's workout is to go up the steps. That's some people make it halfway through and they go back. So for you to go up there to just start your 1 hour plank is nuts.
But you know why I do it? Why I chose that versus like a Venice Beach or a Santa Monica or like another tourist like Hollywood. I chose it there because everyone who's at the top at least is oriented to say like, I want to get better.
Yeah, it's inspired. Yeah,
They're already 1 foot in. If I go to like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, people are gonna troll me. People are gonna take my camera. It's because they haven't invested anything to get to me.
To get there, yeah.
All these other people have invested a little bit of effort to climb the mountain.
No, that's really, really cool. So where do you see now? Where do you see yourself, in the next 3 years and then 5 years? Continuing this on a daily basis?
Yeah, I do think with everything that I've done up until now, I do think that my life's calling is doing exactly what I'm doing now. It's really setting an example and showing the path for a lot of people that just need the path. They just need to know where to start, how to get started. What do I need to do? How do I get from point A to point B? We didn't even talk about what I did for companies, but I used to be a chief of staff, a strategic planner. I used to help companies define their North Star and then go through the planning cycle to break that down into goals and quarterly goals and targets for teams and sales teams and budgets and this and that. And what I get very excited about is these concepts, we use them in business, but wouldn't it be awesome if we just took those concepts and applied them to our personal lives? So I think that there's going to be something in there for me where I just want to show people how to use these tools, very simple tools of saying, hey, where do I want to be in 3 years? And then how do I work backwards to actually get there?
That's cool. I didn't know. So that's what you were doing for companies. You were like setting up targets, goals. So you're a big spreadsheet, guy, like just systematize.
It's the engineer in me. It's
bro, this
point A
is
to
like,
point B.
you're our one of one. That's a really, really awesome story, background. And then we were talking about family when the cameras were off. You're close with family. Like your parents live in LA with,
yeah, they're in LA, and guess what? We have a great story. I think I'll write a book at some point. But my parents, they immigrated here from Mexico. They came with very, very little education, very little resources, and then they got married here. They had 3 kids, 3 kids went to MIT. All 3 of us went to MIT.
What?
Yeah.
All 3 of you guys went to MIT?
Yeah. Well, my sister's a doctor now. She went to Dartmouth for her her medical program. She matched at UCLA. She's a doctor. She's very successful. My brother, he's an engineer. He works in kind of like the defense industry as well.
Wow.
And we could go deep in that, but we have a pretty good story. I'm very close to the family.
Tell me more about that, because I wanted to hear your background, because the discipline that you have had to come from someone. Like, was it your parents that instilled you?
I can tell you. All right, so we're gonna go way back now. So my parents had a business. They still have a business where they sell at a flea market, a swap meet. If you know LA, it's Paramount Swap Meet.
Of course.
Yeah, Paramount Swap Meet. So when I was a kid, I would go help them on the weekends. Like, I basically grew up in the swap meet. I basically grew up waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on the weekends,
setting everything up,
and unloading the truck, putting up the tent, unloading the shoes, selling throughout the day in English and in Spanish, and then packing everything up. And so when all my friends were waking up late, watching Cartoon Network, when they were all going on vacations on the weekend, I was grinding. And so
it's so hard, the swap meet thing, like the setting up, and sometimes you don't sell, and
yep.
and you have to pay for the day, and sometimes you don't make the same. Wow.
So when I look back, I'm like, no, that a lot of people say, oh, you had a bad upbringing. I think that's the biggest gift my parents gave me. It's like
work ethic.
I'm showing up every single weekend. And when you're a 9-year-old kid, when you're 9, when you're 12 and you're getting invited to like a birthday party, but you can't go because you got to go work.
That's incredible.
That builds discipline. That builds the mental hardening.
You brought back some memories, bro. I did that in Mexico growing
no
up.
way.
Yeah. Like I had not thought about this. I'm going to say over a decade, maybe more, 15 years. I mean, I just now remember having to do that, laying all out.
Yeah.
Selling the little shoes,
yeah,
whatever extra clothes that we had, and then sometimes like we would spend more money there than we would actually earn for that day. Like, that was rough.
Because you got to buy the food, you got to
you got to feed them.
You got to pay whoever's helping you out.
Wow.
And then sometimes it might rain, and you got to be ready for the rain. And then like, if you have too much
it's
merchandise
crazy what
out,
parents do for us, man, growing up.
It's crazy. Like.
Are you the youngest, or where are you from in the siblings?
My brother's 2 years older than me, and then my sister's like 8 or 9 years younger.
So you're middle.
I'm the middle child.
In the middle.
I was the baby for a while, and then my sister came a lot later.
9 years later, and she also they all got like the brains then.
Yeah, but I think parenting has a lot to do with it. I think environment has a lot to do with it. But no, we have good parents. I'm blessed. When you talk about my resume, what I've done, the companies I worked for Fortune 150 companies, flying in corporate jets and all of that. And it all started from me working at the swap meet, going to Garfield High, if you know Garfield High.
Wow,
Garfield High is the stand and deliver school from Jaime Escalante, the movie that Edward James Olmos was in. It's have you heard that?
I know Edward James, but I didn't know that about
High. But that's a school. It's a school in East LA. So I would actually get bussed in there because they had a computer science magnet program. So I would jump in the bus early in the morning at 6:20 in the morning and get bussed into East LA to go do my high school, and then come out of East LA.
What a great story, bro. Fuck. And now you're inspiring people around the world. Do you miss corporate life?
I was good at corporate life. I was a good strategic planner. I was a good chief of staff. I think my last 2 CEOs really liked me.
What does a chief of staff do?
A chief of staff, it means a lot of things to a lot of people, but I'm basically the right-hand person. I'm basically the right-hand person to a CEO.
Okay.
And I'm a chief of staff could be like a proxy CEO. I knew everything about the companies that I was at.
So you were like high level, bro.
I was in it. I was in there with knowing legal issues, HR issues, the cap table, like
billion-dollar companies.
Billion. The last company I was at sold for $5 billion. It was a $5 billion acquisition. It was the fifth biggest acquisition in video game history.
You work for a video game company?
It was Scopely. It's a free-to-play games company. So if you've heard of Monopoly Go, that's a big application that they have right now. Monopoly Go, Scrabble Go, Star Trek Fleet Command.
Okay.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're
Obviously.
doing. They got it.
But they had you.
They got a great executive team, man. These guys, I learned a lot from them. These guys are all about speed, execution, decentralized leadership. Like the CEO isn't like holding anybody up. It's just like, how is the CEO empowering the lieutenants to go execute?
That's incredible mindset and mentality.
Yeah. No, I learned
leadership.
a lot. I learned a lot from my CEOs. They were amazing people. They are amazing people.
Why did you leave the corporate world?
It's a little complicated, but there were some personal things that came up with the family, and I needed to focus on those. And because I'm very close with my family, it just needed a lot of my attention.
And is this when you started, doing this, focusing on the do hard things?
That's right.
365?
That's right. I was
See,
looking for
everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens. Going back to that Chinese parable, it's like everything happens for a reason. I think the companies I was at are great. Scopely, amazing company. They're crushing it out there. But I had to do what I had to do on the personal front. So
this has been one of the most fun episodes. Definitely the most active. I burned the most calories. We just passed like 8 fast food places, and I just want to go to Chick-fil-A after this. But I am not. I'm not sure I'm gonna do full not eating like you are.
yeah,
Are you gonna work out after this?
I want to work out. I think I have to go work on some content right now, but I might go work out. We'll see.
That's awesome, bro. Rich, I really appreciate you being here, sharing your story, both on the personal, brother. Like you have a new friend, someone who looks up to your stuff. That's really great. Anything we can help,
Awesome.
on the market and expense, call me. You have my personal phone number, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's been great. Guys, make sure you give him a follow on both YouTube, on Instagram, and future X account. You're going to be posting on X. And this has been another awesome episode. Any last words from you?
Guys, my message is very, very simple, and it's for everyone. It's do something hard every day. Again, your hard, very different from my hard. Your hard could just be putting on your shoes, going for a walk, getting off the couch. That's fine. Do something hard every day. Number 2, try to do something that makes you 1% better every day. Not 100% better. Don't hit any home runs. Just 1% better. That's it. Number 3, just do number 1 and number 2 for long enough. A lot of people jump into these diets and they put 30 days of hard work and they're like, I don't see anything. Guys, this stuff takes time. So 5 or 6 months is what it takes for you to start getting stronger, start looking noticeably leaner. But what I'm saying is, just trust the process. You will get everything. You will be the best version of yourself if you follow these 3 things. It's a simple message.
2025. Let's go, guys. Thank
Let's
you.
go.
One more episode.